Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So as the title suggests, there are rumours. Yes, just rumours. There's nothing too solid or meaty within this. But there are rumours that KLD has put the club up for sale, and there's even further rumours that there has been discussions with an American buyer. However, I would like to just put a huge grain of salt on this. With no disrespect to the original sort of source or the person or the sort of the original source that this rumour was coming from, it isn't the sort of epitome of credibility, if that makes sense. Again, with no digs towards them, but it isn't necessarily an official source. However, there is rumours that Sunderland are up for sale, and there's been numbers of 75 million. I don't believe that will be the case. I think that will be very, very cheap with where the club are at the moment, and even just the player values in themselves at the moment would be touching that or nearly that. So I don't believe that to be necessarily true. However, it would kind of make sense. I'm not going to totally write it off at all. And I think purely because, obviously, when Beal lost his job, and then we saw Dodds to the end of the season, and of course they dressed it up, Speakman dressed it up as we're going to use this time to really sort of reflect and make sure we bring in the next man, and make sure the next man is correct and up to the job. However, is that the case, or have they been using this time to try to sell the club? That wouldn't be totally far-fetched. It would give them ample time to look for a buyer, and then they will come in with a fresh, sort of fresh blank slate. There's no manager there, so they can do what they want with that, and stuff like that. So it would kind of make sense. And again, please take this with a massive grain of salt. Although it's saying that, like I said, no disrespect to the original source, there was actually an account on Twitter who I believe, although again, not an official account, it isn't an official journalist or reporting sort of, like Sky Sports or anything like that. It's not like a professional that has really released this, but there is an account on Twitter that did get the whole Beal debacle completely spot on before it even happened in terms of him getting sacked, what the circumstances were, and he seems to have got that spot on. And this account is usually relatively quiet. And last night he did tweet out saying, "Hold on a minute, there could be something in this." #SAFC. So there is a chance that Sunderland is up for sale, and that is why we haven't appointed a manager until the end of the season. And it is just a case of making it a blank slate, or maybe more of an appeal to a new owner that they can come in and straight away they have their own way, they can bring in their own staff and what have you. You never know, but again, I thought I'd just let you guys know it is just a simple update. Apologies, by the way, that I didn't do a review to the game at QPR. I did do a live stream, so thank you for those who did join. And I tell you what, it's just hard at the minute, particularly after you do a live stream on a terrible, terrible game where we just seem to be getting gradually worse at times. And after a 0-0 draw, we didn't get a shot on target. And then doing a 2-hour live stream to then sit there and try and review that absolute garbage. I felt like it'd just be beating a dead horse at that point. I'm just week in, week out, just telling you that things are shit. And of course, it's you can't always put a positive spin on everything. But after a 0-0 draw against QPR and the performance that came with it, it was just terrible. It would have been just a minute and a half of me telling you that Sunderland is shit, because that is exactly what it is at the minute. And now, I just hope, and I'm just trying to, my outlet now and my sort of outlook is just get us to the end of the season, get us over the line, get us to the end of the season, and whether it's with KLD or not, we need a really, really ambitious window, because the last couple of windows, of course, they've not been good enough. Now, I know a lot of people, I keep on suggesting this and saying this, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much, but I know a lot of fans just say, splash the money, show us the cash and all that kind of thing, and this isn't me defending them at all, because I'm not, so it's here is out, but they have actually put money into the club. They've put upwards of 10 million over the last couple of windows on personnel, but it's the incorrect personnel. It's all well and good, signing youth prospects, and that's exactly what they are, prospects, and players that may or may not have potential, but just bringing those kind of players in quantity rather than quality, and players that haven't yet realised their potential, you can't do anything. If they have ambitions of getting in the top 6, let alone the top half, you can't do that with a lot of kids who haven't proved themselves. And I know sometimes you do get the odd one off where you get a youngster in who hasn't really got a huge track record. He'll come in and he'll blow the league away, but that's very rare. But a lot of these players just haven't improved their team. In fact, we've regressed. So I think this next window, yes, we have a platform with loads of youth players. A lot of them, albeit they've played poorly at times, you can see you've got a bit of potential with a few of the players in there and in around the squad. However, we need a seriously ambitious window. Now, rather than getting 9, 10, 11 players who, 17, 18, and they played in the youth leagues in Slovakia or some, do you know what I mean? Or some shit like that. I'd rather them get 5 or 6 really good championship level players. And that's what I would rather them do. And put a bit of money towards it. Be really ambitious. I know that, all the big performers in the championship this season, they are going to cost a shit ton of money. The big ones who've been putting goals away, wingers and strikers and what have you, or they will be going up to the Premier League next season. But otherwise, players like Whittaker, let's be ambitious. I know it doesn't sound too ambitious, but at Plymouth, he looks an absolute exceptional talent. Bring him in. There's other players who have been stand out in the championship. Like, I like the look of Sorba Thomas at Huddersfield. Bring him in. He's done it before. He's ripped as a new one every time he's played. Just players like that. Do you know what I mean? Who are ready-made, big defenders that have done it in the championship. There's a good handful around there. Just be ambitious. I know that we're going to get the Clark money in. Clark's definitely gone for me. He'll definitely go. Ballard might go as well. I know that they're going to get a percentage, Spurs, from Clark. But if we manage to get 15, 20 million, after percentage is taken, from Clark, put it right into the club and try and get 4 or 5 really standout players who can really increase the quality within the squad, because it is lacking in so many areas. And again, I know it doesn't even seem like I'm being too ambitious in terms of, like I mentioned, Thomas and Whittaker, for example. There's defenders all across the board who look like a real threat. If we do start making those kind of signings, then other bigger players will want to come as well. Because at the minute, what is good and what I do actually like about this sort of model that we have had, there are younger players that want to come to Sunderland because they know they'll get game time. They've got a great stadium to do it in, to showcase their talent, a great place to learn and hone their skills. But we need to increase the talent that comes in, not the quantity. Do you know what I mean? We can't just bring in loads of youngsters and expect it to stick, because it didn't always work, and we've seen that. I'd love to see, again, I understand what they're trying to do with the model. It's almost like a base level of a business at the moment. They've bought in cheap, they're going to sell high, which happens, but we really need to improve on that now. We need to try and just change and tweak this model, because on paper it looks great, they're bringing exciting youngsters, but when they're not ready, they're not ready. End of story. So it needs to be tweaked. We need some experience in there to try and guide these players, because there is a backbone of a half decent side in there, but we've just regressed in too many areas as opposed to progressing. This obsession with progression is just, well, it's bollocks in it. But either way, guys, I have kind of gone off tangent there. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that there is rumours that Sunderland are up for sale. Would you like that to be the case? For me personally, if it is the case, and it is the right buyer with the club's best interest at heart, of course, yes, absolutely. I've said a million times over, I don't think KLD is the man to take us forward long term. He's got us at League One. He's done it on a relatively cheap budget. Yes, I know, and I've said before, apparently we have the fourth lowest wage budget in the league, which is good for a business. That's great, and it doesn't mean you're doing better just because you're the top of the league in that department. I think that's good for running the business, but now we do need to push forward. I don't think KLD has the means to do that personally. Speakman, a lot of people are calling for his head, but he's just, you need to think he's using the money that KLD's showing to him. KLD might say, right, we need 10 players, but you only got 10 million. See what you can do. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's got the easiest job in the world, and he has got a lot right, Speakman. Again, he's got a lot wrong as well. So, I'm not totally against Speakman. I don't think KLD's the man in charge, or the man to see us progress for the future. But yeah, I'd be open to it if the right man does come. But the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Do you know what I mean? I can just see it. If KLD did sell up and then someone comes in, pisses money up the wall and on shit plays that aren't going to work, and then we'll realise that the stability of the club was probably a little bit more important at the time. But again, it's one of those, it's a difficult one. It is just a rumour. I'm probably overthinking too much. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. It is a big one. It's a big one to ponder, isn't it? But let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you have enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, take care and stay jammy.